In recent years, there has been a surge in improv training manuals. Dan Diggle's Improv for Actors, Liz Allen and Jimmy Crane's Improvising Better, Michael Gelman and Mary Scruggs' Process, and Carol Hazenfield's Acting on Impulse. Each have slightly different audiences, but are all geared toward improvisational performance, providing both basic and advanced tips for becoming a better improviser. Tom Smith's The Other Blocking is an example of a basic text aimed at both beginning level improv teachers and performers. Perhaps the most useful in terms of pedagogy and application to this study are Annoyance Theatre co-founder Mark Napier's Improvise, Seen from the Inside Out, and the Theatre Sports co-founder Keith Johnstone's classic Improv. While these books are highly influential and written by some of the most prominent figures in contemporary improv, they're aimed at the professional improviser. These texts are mostly beneficial in helping to illustrate the ways in which improv functions by outlining the games and structures prevalent in improv, and to help illustrate some of the varying improvisational performance theories. For instance, I.O. espouses that an improviser's main duty is to support his or her partner. Napier and the Annoyance Theatre argue that an improviser's main duty is to take care of him or herself first. Napier believes that by taking care of one's own character, point of view, and so forth, a performer will give his or her partner everything needed for a successful scene. This philosophical difference will be explored in more detail in Chapter 5, and does provide one example of a performance theory created as a reaction to the Herald. Several books have tried to bridge the gap between training manual and scholarly analysis. Tom Selinsky and Deborah Frances White's The Improv Handbook is the most successful of these books. Between games and player advice, Selinsky and White provide short critical essays throughout on topics such as women in improv, as well as including an appendix featuring interviews with several improv luminaries. Anne Libera's The Second City Almanac of Improvisation balances history and practice, providing both an in-depth look at the development of Second City and a training approach to improv and sketch writing. These books demonstrate the growing interest of practitioners in the history and theory of improvisation. While these texts are a beginning, there is still a serious void in theatrical scholarship that has directly contributed to greater misunderstanding of the art form. There are many training manuals, performance reviews, and newspaper and magazine articles about improv, but when one looks to scholarly works, there is a glaring hole. By scholarly work, I am referring to a book or article that has been written by someone outside of the professional world of improvisational theater who is applying critical and theoretical ideas to the art of improv rather than providing a training manual or a personal narration. Jeanne Leap's Theatrical Improvisation helps place the Herald in its proper context within improvisational theater, but is more concerned with providing an overview of the main genres of improvisation. Amy Seaham's Whose Improv Is It Anyway? Is primarily concerned with issues of race and gender in improvisation. Sadly, Leap's and Seaham's books stand alone as the only scholarly works about improvisational theater. Seaham's book, an updated and revised version of her 1997 dissertation, Chicago-Style Improv Comedy, Race and Gender, Rhetoric and Practice, focuses on the role of race and gender in improv and the ways in which women and minorities have had to struggle to achieve equality in the heavily white and male-dominated art form. She explores the structures of improv in performance and in process to determine the ways in which women and minorities are subjugated, and also the ways in which they have been able to break through to achieve equality. She also gives a history of the development of improv in Chicago and a brief summary through her exploration of the work of minority and women improv groups of improv that is taking shape outside of Second City and, to a lesser extent, I.O.'s realm of influence. While it is very enlightening about the power structures of improvisational theater, it does not explore the Herald very in depth.